world is hungry for the next big copper discovery everybody wants. And I have been in discussion with some of the major players already, even at this early stage of my exploration.
Hello, and welcome to the Stock Network's ASX Investor Podcast, Stock Tales. I'm your host, Russell Katz. All thoughts, opinions, and analysis expressed on this show should not be used as an excuse to avoid doing your own research, because remember, nobody ever made any money being lazy. A more detailed disclaimer is available at the end of the program. But for now, let's dive into today's episode featuring Arvind from Belararox, ticker code BRX. Belararox is a battery metals explorer focused on copper in three key projects, two of which are in Australia and one is in Argentina. 2023 was a busy year for Belararox, having acquired the TMT project in Argentina, shifting the focus of one of its projects from gold to lithium, and expanding its other projects' copper and zinc resource. As 2024 begins, Belararox has been hard at work, and here to tell us all about it is Belararox's Managing Director, Arvind. Arvind, welcome to Stock Tales.
Thank you, Mike. Good to be back again.
It's great to have you on. Look, we've obviously been in communication around your exciting copper finds quite a lot. And moving on from that, I'd just really like to start off our conversation with talking about the big investment picture here. What do you think investors really have been attracted to by your company?
Look, quite a few features, particularly we are a battery metal focused company. And as you know, the demand for battery metal is looking very good in terms of the supply chain gap and the pricing for each of the metals, particularly copper that we are focusing on. So we have three projects in two countries, Argentina and Australia. In Australia, the project that we used for the listing of a flagship project at that time in the year 2022, Belararox project, we did the drilling, 7,000 meters drilling in 2022. We got a 5 million ton resource of 3.4% zinc equivalent. And the upside for increasing the resource is significant because we have only explored a small fraction of the mineralized 25 kilometers. We've only done 2 kilometers of that. We're still doing a regional exploration.
Just just on Belararox a little bit more. So you're saying you have the 5 million tons. What exactly are you guys targeting there? Because I know that 5 million is a great start, but it's not exactly production ready.
Yes, that's right. 5 million is a great start. And we would like to see a resource base of 15, 20 million ton. That would be a very good base because some of the other companies operating mines in that area, they have 10 to 12 million tons of resource and reserve base. So targeting around that range, a bit better grade. I mean, 3.4% zinc equivalent is reasonable grade, but anything above 5 or 6% would really get the attention because that will start to go into commercial kind of grade in terms of the mining and investment justification.
Okay, excellent. So you said you had two projects in Australia. Can you tell me about the other one?
The second project that we have in Australia is in Western Australia, near Coolgardie, a project called Bullabulling. And Bullabulling traditionally has been known for producing gold for centuries. There's a lot of mines in that area which were traditionally a gold mine and gold discoveries that happened in the past. They are finding plenty of lithium actually in the same rock that they drilled before. And so hence when the lithium boom came up, we changed our strategy to go and look for lithium in that area that we are working. And we found across 5 kilometers, extensive 5 kilometer strike length, some very high grade soil anomalies up to 324 ppm. Traditionally in that area, you find ppms around 80, 100 ppm. So this is a very good ppm results for us.
So can you talk about exactly, these soil anomalies? What exactly in terms of stage of exploration would you be looking at these soil anomalies? What can we expect this means for the project going forward?
Look, this is the stages that we have followed to get to the soil sampling work is that we did the drone survey first, and we did the rock chips, and we did the second round of rock chips, and we did the first round of gridding of the soils, which was at 125 by 125. Now we have narrowed it down to further to 62.5 by 62.5 grid. So we have narrowed it down to that level. And the final sampling that we did on that 62.5 meters square grid, we're waiting for results to come back, which should be available to us end of this month. Once that result is come, we will analyze, and that should lead to us drilling and hopefully drilling for commercial grade lithium pegmatite.
And that's what everybody's excited about, right? But it seems like that's pretty early on. End of this month, you said. I know I do actually want to take a pause on that and continue on to the other project, and we'll circle back around later. Can you talk a little bit about the TMT project? And because I know we're moving towards copper, which is what you mentioned right at the beginning, battery metals. TMT project is really where, and I'm quoting you, something you said before, but elephant hunting for this copper.
Correct.
What exactly does that mean, and what is the big picture here?
Right. TMT is a project in elephant country, that the word that you picked up before. And it's gigantic, potentially gigantic in size once we discover it. Just to give you an idea why we say it's an elephant country, and it's not my words alone. I'm a mining engineer, I'm not a geologist, but I have got world-class geologists like Jason Ward and Dr. Steve Garvin, who have discovered these kind of elephants before in similar kind of settings. So immediately south of TMT, we have a very large gold operation run by Barrick Gold, mine called Veladero. And immediately north of us there are two very large copper projects called Filo del Sol and Josemaria. Josemaria actually is seeing an investment of $4 billion going into it, setting up a large copper mine. And Filo del Sol is a project which is owned by a company called Philip, London-backed. But BHP recently invested for 5% of that project, $100 million. So it's a gigantic deposits that found in the area. So the work done on my project by Dr. Garvin and Jason Watt today entails like Sentinel-2 and satellite imagery that they have done, and they have done the analysis of the geology and the features there, and they have compared that with the Filo del Sol. And some of the remarks that I hear from my geologist that has been on the stock exchange announcement also, that features that we have on our ground is similar to the features in Filo del Sol. So we are hoping that once we do a bit more advanced work, that we will be able to find something like Filo del Sol in our ground. So that's why it's an elephant country. I've got huge area of 320 square kilometers, and I have got possibly the world's best geologist who have done it before to go and uncover and probably find next discovery to put on their CV and my company shareholders register.
Yeah. So just to kind of put it into context, right? So you just said that BHP did a $100 million investment, right? So at was that the North or the South project?
That's the North project, Filo del Sol.
The North project, right? And that's what, so you have these two other amazing projects in Australia, and BHP did an investment that's between 3 to 2 times the size of your total market cap right now. And you have this fantastic project just in Argentina, let alone the other ones. So how does that kind of shape into your thinking there?
All right, we are hopeful that we will have a huge discovery. And the work that's done so far, we've already completed the mapping work, sampling work on the Toro side. Malombo is the one being worked on right now. Then we'll move to the main project, which is Tambo. And just on the basis of the work done so far on the Toro North, Dr. Garvin and Jason have talked about in the last month's announcement, the potassic alteration that they're seeing indicates that maybe we're sitting on top of the nearby porphyry somewhere. So we could be doing more work like geophysics, and we wait for the sample results to come through. And we'll repeat that into Malombo and Tambo. And as we're going from south to north, so south is the Toro, then Malombo the central, then north is the Tambo. And Jason thinks that the Tambo is the #1 target for us. Our geologists have been there, but we are doing systematically from south to north the work we're doing. And hopefully we start drilling end of the year when we plan to, and get some exciting results.
So it sounds like you actually have, it's not, you're not just taking a gamble on one spot with this project. It sounds like you have quite a few spots that you could be drilling. And actually, I looked at the map, and it seems like this is a massive chunk of land that you guys have here in Argentina. And also, I know that, just a few months ago, you actually were on CNBC to talk about the TMT project in Argentina. Could you just give me a real 30-second overview of why CNBC wanted to talk to you about Argentina?
Well, look, CNBC was pretty keen to know about our involvement in Argentina, particularly at the time of transition of the new president coming in and what the impact it would have on our businesses that we are doing. But they were also very keen to know how important role Argentina and that part of the world is playing in the decarbonization of the earth with all the battery metal that potentially they are supplying and supply a lot more. So they wanted my view about that those two things. It was good to be on CNBC and express my view like that. So very excited about that.
Fantastic. Yeah, I did watch it and you did a great job. Look, I think what's really interesting about the Australian project that's now focusing on lithium from gold and the copper project in TMT, and Belar is a great project too. But it's really interesting about those first two projects specifically is that you have a heavily diversified battery metal approach. But you're more actually focused on copper. Lithium's exciting, but everybody and their mother's kind of involved in it these days, and you're not seeing so many people so heavily invested in copper. So you have the lithium, you have the lithium exposure, but at the same time, you're definitely, I guess you could call it overweight on your bet with copper, which is, I think, a very exciting area to be in right now because there, as I said, quite frankly, there's a lot of lithium plays out there.
Correct. And copper is everybody. You look at the BHP, the big acquisition they did the last year. So world is hungry for the next big copper discovery that everybody wants. And I have been in discussion with some of the major players already, even at this early stage of my exploration, which obviously I can't talk about for the confidentiality reason. But it is good to have the attention of a couple of very large companies, global scale company, who are keeping an eye on our development, and hopefully we'll have a discussion with them at some point in time. But moving beyond from the technical side of the project, I wanted to just also make a point that I have a great board, great team. Our legendary chairman, Neil Warburton, is a great asset to have on my board, very sound entrepreneur and a leader and a very successful businessman. And in addition to that, the share registry that I have is very tightly controlled. I've got 70 million shares on issue, and top 20 shareholders, they own 60% of the business. And I am able to communicate effectively with the majority of the ownership of my company if I talk to all those 20 people that I know personally and I interact them from time to time. So very good share registry, great management team, great board, and world-class project in an elephant country focusing on copper. It's got all the right element for my valuation to grow up in 2024 as I bring out more results.
And I just want to add as well, you take a look at Belararox's chart, and it's very easy to see that, yeah, you guys are very event driven on the movements, but it's also very liquid. It's surprisingly liquid, I would actually say, for a stock that's so tightly held. And it's clear that the people who are selling aren't your top 20. But it's a stock that people focus on, and whenever some major event comes out, you just look at the chart and it just shoots up. So talking of share price movements, because I just have to ask you, what is like the next 12 months? What are the top 5 things that you're really most excited to get out to investors that you really think is what's going to be moving these charts?
Oh, look, leading to the drilling, there's been a lot of results coming out from 3 different areas of TMT alone: Toro, Malombo, Tambo. So Toro will have geology, geochemistry, geophysics. Malombo will have those 3 again, and the Tambo will have those. And with the result of all of that work will be resulting into drill targeting work for all those 3 areas. So as we announce and work through slowly, which will start to confirm more towards our discovery, people will be going on the ride, and hopefully market will like that. And lithium is nothing to sneeze about as yet. Lithium is still very strong. You've seen a lot of good IPOs still happening in lithium space. And those IPOs are happening in the space where we've got the ground. So once I come out with my soil results and hopefully do some drilling and make a discovery of the lithium also, those 2 are going to put the rocket under my share price. I'm very sure about that. And we'll see how it all pans out. So systematically, like next 2 months, I'll be coming out with results of the Malombo. I'll be coming out with results of the Toro sampling, and I'll be announcing soils, as I said before. And after that, more work from Malombo, more work from Tambo, and then drilling at Boloboling, then drilling at TMT is fully action-packed year for this year with a lot of good news we expect to deliver.
So thank you for coming on Stocktails, Arvind. It sounds like Belararox has a lot of exciting stuff, not just over the next 12 months, but even over the next 2 months. So we look forward to watching the stock going forward. And once again, thank you for coming on Stocktails.
Thank you, Russell, for the invitation, and I always enjoy talking to you guys. So thank you for the opportunity.
Cheers. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into the disclaimer. Investing money into capital markets involves risk and could result in losing money. The people on this podcast express their own views and may or may not have been paid to appear. Only you can determine if a particular investment is right for your portfolio. Always do your own research before buying or selling any security or investment. Remember, past performance is no guarantee of future results. One should always view any investment with their own personal risk tolerance, liquidity, tax situation, or anything else pertinent in mind. No person on or related to this podcast was making any offer or solicitation.